If Ganyu is the cryo goddess, then Keqing is the shling queen of cryo. I wanted to create an Omen build for Keqing. I think she deserves some love here. Why? It's because she is the freaking avatar. She can deal physical damage. She can deal electro damage. No duh. She can deal cryo damage. She can deal pyro damage. All if you have everything set up. Not only that, but if you do cryo, which I'm going to be showing you guys today, you get 100% crit rate, which is good for Keqing, who gets crit damage when she levels up. Not only that, but when you, we're gonna show you. One of the biggest problems that Keqing has is the fact that one of her most powerful moves, her charged attacks, knocks people back. So if you can freeze them, then they can't do anything. They can't get knocked back. See? Watch. I just knocked her back. But as you saw before, though, she doesn't get knocked back if she's frozen. How does Mona play into all this? When she ults, she applies an Omen debuff on them to where they take more damage for a set amount of time. It's only there for 5 seconds after you pop that bubble. So you have to do damage in order to actually get the effects of the Omen debuff. But if you freeze them, you don't pop the bubble, the Omen effect is still there, you're still getting damage. That Omen effect is worth about a vaporize or a melt. If you, let's see, so like if you apply pyro and then cryo, so you get like a 50% damage bonus, but you're getting that every single hit. When you do elemental reactions, well, what happens? There is an internal cooldown. But with this, there's no cooldown at all. You just get 8 seconds of free melt, of free vaporize. It's really, really good. And these enemies, they can't do anything against you. So here's what that rotation is going to look like. You use Chongyun, you use Mona, and now, if that guy can pop up, you have free damage on them. Free. That's great. Now Keqing is free to put in work. There is a use for her in the world of the Ganyus. There's use for her in the world of the Dilucs. There's use for her in the world of Big Daddy Xiaos. And keep in mind, I love Keqing. As soon as I got her, she was the one character that I really wanted. As soon as I got her, I played her off cooldown. But once I got Ganyu, once I started kitting out Razor, once enemies with Geoshield started popping up, I was struggling. But we can struggle no more, because not even Geoshields are a problem for Keqing. Oh no, I can't do anything. I'm hitting tiny numbers on them, and no one has time to pull out your claymore and just start trying to go to town. It doesn't matter, because even if you break them, they're gonna fly back. Watch. Oh, bye. I have to chase you. I have to waste stamina. But if you use the combination of Chongyun, Mona, and then Barbara, look at that. They can't do anything. Okay, now we can bring out the Chongyun E. We're hitting them through their shields. And as you can see, it's not perfect as far as how much uptime and the rotation works. It's enough though to where you can do the DPS that you need to in that time frame if you have your characters kitted out. If Keqing had a 5-star weapon, that would be so incredibly good. So now that I've showcased what this all looks like, let's talk about how to set up the team. Let's talk about what kind of artifacts and weapons that you want and what kind of stats are going to be best for this scenario. Let's dive into it. Now, my numbers with Keqing, they could be a lot more impressive. I don't have her ascended to the last ascension level. I don't have her to level 90. Her attack is about 1600. If we look at her details, her crit rate's 55%, her crit damage is 200%. These are all numbers that we can raise even higher. If you go down, you'll see that cryo damage bonus is 61.6%. That's from our artifacts. The reason why she's so versatile is because she gets crit damage as her secondary, as her stat that she gets as she levels up. Crit damage transfers over to any kind of damage that you're outputting. For her weapons, I have the black sword on her. That you do have to get that in the battle pass. It's a really great weapon in my opinion, especially for that crit rate. Another 4-star option would be the flute. I actually have that at refinement rank 4. I wonder if that would actually be better than the black sword at this time. But those are the only 2 4-star swords that I would really recommend at this time. If you want to do a 5-star sword, then I would recommend either Aquila Favonia is a physical damage sword, so I don't know if I would really recommend that. Skyward sword is a great option, although you're not going to be getting too much out of that energy recharge substat. The number 1 5-star weapon for Keqing in almost any scenario is going to be the Summit Shaper. It's an incredibly powerful 5-star weapon for one-hand sword users. Its bonus effect is attack. Base attack is going to be extremely high. Its extra skill, it increases your attack by an insane amount. You're going to get a lot out of this weapon in many scenarios. Now, as far as artifacts go, I would 110% recommend the Blizzard Strayer set. That means you're going to get 100% crit when you are freezing enemies. The cryo damage bonus is always great, but the 20% attack if they're affected by cryo is great, or the 20% crit rate is great, and then the extra 20% crit rate when they're frozen is amazing. Right now, I don't have a good full set Blizzard Strayer, so for my other artifacts, I have the Noblesse Oblige. Not because I'm going to be ulting, but because the substats are really, really good. Like as you can see, I have a lot of crit damage here. A lot more crit damage here. I have the Bloodstained Chivalry's Goblet, but it has cryo damage bonus on it. A lot of crit damage here as well with some nice crit rate. I cannot say enough though that you need the Blizzard Strayer set for this combination. It is incredibly good with Keqing. For constellations, there's nothing in Keqing's kit that will allow you to get more damage out of her freeze build. Everything right here is mostly about the electro damage bonus, and obviously you're not going to be doing any electro moves. For her talents, the only thing that you need to upgrade for this as well is your normal attack. That's pretty good material economy as well, because you don't need to dump a ton of materials into Keqing. For Chongyun, you don't have to level him really at all. I just have him at level 40 right now, so he doesn't die every time I pull him out. Weapons doesn't even really matter. I have Favonia's Greatsword for energy recharge. I guess I can ult with him whenever I want to. Artifacts doesn't matter. Constellations doesn't matter, although having a second constellation is pretty nice. It's the only constellation that I would really recommend. If you can level him up to where he gets his Rhyme Chaser Blade, that means that you're going to be reducing their cryo resistance by 10% for 8 seconds after the duration of your E expires. You're not going to get too much uptime for this, but it's always going to be extra damage. So that's nice. Now for Mona, I would recommend, just because she's a great character in general, to upgrade her as much as you can. For weapons, I would recommend the Favonius Codex for the energy recharge. She also scales pretty well off of energy recharge too from one of her talents. For artifacts, I would definitely recommend a full Noblesse Oblige set. That means that when you ult with Mona, you're going to be getting an extra 20% attack. For constellations, I don't have anything for her. I would recommend maybe having her third constellation in order to boost her ultimate skill. For talents, all you got to do really is focus on her ultimate skill. Get it as high as possible, because the more you level it up, the more damage you are going to do on the enemy. See, if you upgrade, you get an extra 2% damage. If you keep upgrading it, that damage starts to rack up. Plus, the damage in general is insane for scaling when you actually pop the bubble. Look at that. That's more than 40% more damage per level up. Holy moly. And then finally for Barbara, you don't even have to put too much materials into her. Really, all you need is the Thrilling Tales of the Dragon Slayer. Refinement rank 5. 48% increased attack damage. That's why it's so important to switch into her before you switch into Keqing for extra damage. For artifacts, I would do the Maiden Beloved set. That way, you can just get the extra heals that Keqing might need, even though with Black Sword she doesn't really need any heals. For constellations, most people will have either 1 or 2, just because they were giving Barbers out for free. I think her second constellation is really good because it decreases the cooldown of her E ability by 15%, which is really, really nice. For her talents, you don't really need to upgrade anything, but I would recommend, if you were to upgrade anything, her E ability, Let the Show Begin, just brings more healing to the table. And there you have it. That is a guide to Cryo Keqing, the Queen of Ice. If you guys got anything out of that, if you enjoyed that video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, you can call me Sihone. Talk to you guys later.